Alright, Shalom and welcome back. This is going to be lesson number 16. Now, lesson number 16 talks about these throps, okay, and these different accents. And I want you to know something here. It's really a waste of time. You don't really need to know these things, okay, to really understand how to read and go through it and stuff. You may want to know like how to accentuate words and how to pronounce them in the right way and stuff, but it's not going to stop you from learning biblical Hebrew. That's why I'm not going to waste my time teaching about these things. Because really what you want to learn is you want to learn the grammar, you want to learn the words, and you want to understand the vowels. And that's really what it's all about. So that's what I'm going to do here. So let's continue on. Vayifol, and he fell, Yosef. So, and Yosef fell, al, upon, Penei, the face of, Aviv, his father, Vayivech, and he wept, alav, upon him, Vayishach, and he kissed, lo, him. Alright, so now, let's go and pull apart these sentences here. So here we have Vayifol. So Vayifol, once again, you're going to be saying, oh gosh, of course I know this. Vav conversive, right. So we have the Vav conversive. And then of course here we have our pronoun, right. Now we have a problem, okay, because look what we have here. We have a pei and we have a lamed. Alright, remember the rule that we learned with regard to this, the pei and lamed? Well, we have something very special we're going to learn here. So we can kind of skip this step here. If we see two roots, like we see here, okay, but the first root has a dagesh in it, that is indicating to us the root belongs to the beginning. So now we can narrow this down to basically two things. Either A, I should add a yud to the beginning, or I need to add a nun to the beginning. In this case, it's going to be the nun because the nun is the word nafal, and this is what this is saying. Vayifol, and he fell. Okay? So, and he fell. So here we have the word Yosef. What is Yosef? Well, let's look down here real quick. Yosef is the root Yud Samek Pei Sofit. What does Yud Sam Pei Sofit mean? Yasaf, which means to add. Okay? This is why it says, and he added, when she called him Yosef, and he added unto me. So Yosef, okay? So, and Yosef fell. Alright? And Yosef fell. Right? Now, of course, we would expect, of course, this to be some kind of preposition here, because he fell what? He fell al, upon. Upon, al penei. Penei, we have to go back here, and remember, when we have the tut seres that's placed in the yud, we know that this is a verb that comes from a noun that is masculine. So we know this is coming from the word panim, okay? Because panim, you take away the mem, and you're going to turn this into tzrei, you get the word penei, alright? So panim. So al penei, upon the face of. So face of. Because here we're going to see this is a three-letter noun construct. Al penei, not noun construct, excuse me, take that back. The two-letter construct here. Penei Aviv, okay? So Penei Aviv is the face of, and here we have his father. What is this construed of? We go down here, we have the word av, and we're actually adding the pronoun to the end of it, which in this case is literally the vav, and because of grammatics we have to add the yud, so here we have the word avi, his father. So al penei avi, in the face of his father, vayivech. Vayivech. Now I want to show you a little trick here with this one. This is a really cool one to look at. Vayivech. Whenever we see, as we're going to see here, there is a little dot right here, right? You see the little dot? that little dot right here in the kaf sofit means that the root is at the end of the actual word. So that means we have two possibilities, right? It's either going to be bet, kaf, chaf sofit, or we're looking at, and I'll erase this right here, bet, kaf, hey, right? Bacha. And here the root is bacha, which means and he wept. So here we have the fact of this. And this is what we're going to be putting here. So, and he wept. Okay? So notice the fact that if you see something like this and you got two roots left, this is going to indicate that we have a root missing at the end. Okay? Now we go back over here. Let me erase this and we get some stuff done here. Alav. Here we're going to see alav. This is basically al plus the pronoun o. Okay? If you go to the pronoun chart that I have that's on my website, not the pronoun chart, go to the preposition chart, excuse me, on my website. You can download this, you can put it out, you can print it out, and you can see all the different nouns you can attach to al. Okay? And you'll see that alav is basically al plus o, which is upon him, so alav. So we see here upon him. Upon him. Okay? Vaishak. Okay? Vaishak. So here we go. Vaishak, we know that this is the vav conversive. We know that here it is the pronoun. So how many roots we got left? We got two, right? So if we got two roots left, if you learn my first thing I said with relationship to vayiful, then what should you figure out too in this one? What should be the easy one to figure out? You should say, well, wait a second here. There's a dagish inside the shin. So if there's a dagish in the shin, what am I missing? Well, it's either yashak or it's nashak. Okay, we have two possible root letters that can fit there. Well, here the case is going to be one, it's going to be nashak. So we see here that this is easy, and he kissed Lo. Now, this is something you're going to find is kind of important to really memorize, because this is not something that's very common. And what is that? That means we have to understand there's a special rule that goes on here. Okay? Alright? So what are we going to learn here? Okay? We're going to learn the fact that there's some verbs that require lamed, which acts like oto. So just like lamed would act like et. Remember, et is our direct object marker, right? It points me to the direct object. Here, you might have thought, why does it say vayishak oto? I mean, like all the other times we find the word oto, et is used. Why not done here? This is very special. There's only certain verbs that lo or la is always going to be used with. And that this la is the same equivalent to the et. It's exactly the same equivalence. It doesn't have anything to do like you see la when used to be a defective form for al or defective form for el. Okay? So in this case, vayishak lo means and he kissed him, just like it would be vayichal oto and he ate it. Okay? So in this case, you're going to see that it acts the same way as et, but this is only used with certain verbs. So we're going to see this, like, for example, here you see and he kissed. Another one is going to be and he hugged. Those are going to be two verbs that you're going to find where the word lo is. You can see the word, I'll give you the other sources and stuff on the website, because I just can't think it off the top of my head all the other verbs that are used with it. But you just have to understand and know definitely that whenever you see it as this, we see with the direct object marker, that it's going to function the same way as at. It's just a different form, only used with certain verbs. So that's so important to memorize this stuff, because I know it can be tricky. You might be saying toward him, to him, upon him, and that's not true. It just means he kissed him. Alright? So this, if you took the lamed, you can still use the prepositional chart, and you can literally use all of the lameds on the prepositional chart to add up with all the different possible pronoun endings you could attach to it. So it's not gonna deviate its form and look. It's just the functionality that you're going to be seeing. So this is just real important to understand and important to see when we're looking at these things. So remember the rules that you have here. When you see the dagesh in the two roots, you're going to be missing a root in the beginning. If you see a dagesh at the end, you know that you're going to be missing it at the end of the root, and that this kind of really plays a real cool game, because as we'll see, we have two roots exactly the same problem, and we see they have exactly the same letter missing. And this one, we see the ending had the problem, and of course we see the hey was used here. I hope you enjoyed this lesson of learning Biblical Hebrew. When you go into these lessons, you're basically going to be using verb charts. I suggest you use the ones that are on the website rather than the ones in the book, just because of the fact that with relationship to the ones that are in this book, there is obviously no vowelization. You have to actually go back to the very end of the book and to actually individually pull out the vowel patterns, whereas on the website you can download the actual thing for the verb, and you can actually implement the actual root inside the verb with the actual vowel points as is there printed. I hope you enjoyed yourself. We'll see you next time as we go to lesson number 17 and we learn more of Biblical Hebrew.